Commander Jihoon Park stood at the main window of the Earth Defense Station horizon. He held his coffee cup with shaking hands as he watched space tear open like fabric. Massive ships poured through the holes in reality, each one bigger than any city on Earth. "Sir, we have a problem," said Lieutenant Minji Kim from her station. Her voice was calm, but Jihoon could hear the fear underneath. "The computer says there are over 3,000 ships out there." Jihoon set down his coffee and walked to the command center. The screens showed dots everywhere. Red dots that meant enemy ships. So many red dots that they looked like stars in the night sky. "How big are they?" Jihoon asked. Hyun-Woo Lee, the communications officer, looked up from his screens. "The smallest one is 5 kilometers long, sir. The biggest—" He paused and checked his numbers again. "The biggest is 30 kilometers long." Jihoon felt his stomach drop. Earth's biggest warship was only 2 kilometers long. These alien ships could crush their entire fleet without even trying. "Any word from Earth Command?" Jihoon asked. "Yes, sir," Minji said. "Admiral Dong Yun-yoon wants all ships to fall back to Earth. We're supposed to form a defensive line around the planet." Jihoon almost laughed, but it would not have been a happy laugh. A defensive line against 3,000 ships, each one bigger than their strongest weapon. It was like trying to stop a hurricane with an umbrella. On Earth, Dr. Soo-young Choi ran through the halls of the Global Communications Center. Her lab coat flew behind her as she rushed to the main communication room. Red lights flashed everywhere and people shouted into phones and radios. "Ji-won," she called to her assistant. "What's the situation?" Ji-won-nam looked up from a computer screen. Her face was pale. "They're everywhere, Dr. Choi. The ships have formed a perfect sphere around Earth. Every satellite, every space station, everything is inside their formation." Soo-young looked at the main screen. It showed Earth as a small blue dot in the center of thousands of alien ships. The ships were arranged in perfect rows, like soldiers standing at attention. "Have they said anything?" Soo-young asked. "Nothing," Ji-won said. "We've tried every frequency, every language, every mathematical sequence we know. They just sit there and watch us." President Kim walked into the room with his security team. Everyone stood up and saluted, but he waved them back to work. "Dr. Choi," the president said, "I need to know if you can talk to them." "I'm trying, sir," Soo-young said, "but they're not responding to anything. It's like they're waiting for something." Back in space, Captain Minji Kim commanded the Earth defense ship Seoul's Pride. It was one of Earth's newest and strongest ships, but next to the alien vessels it looked like a toy boat next to an aircraft carrier. "Captain," her weapons officer called out, "should we charge our weapons?" Minji looked at the alien ships on her screen. Their weapons were bigger than her entire ship. "No," she said. "If they wanted to destroy us, we'd already be dead. Keep weapons powered down but ready." Her crew worked quietly at their stations. Everyone knew they were probably going to die today, but they did their jobs anyway. That was what humans did. They kept working even when everything seemed hopeless. On the alien command ship, Supreme Commander Vex studied the small blue planet below. His species, the Kalari, had traveled across the galaxy to reach this place. The trip had taken them 6 months, but they had to come. The signal demanded it. "Status report," Vex said to his science officer. "The planet matches the coordinates exactly." The officer replied. "Population approximately 8 billion. Technology level, primitive space travel. No faster than light capability. And the signal? Still broadcasting. The source is definitely this planet," Vex nodded. His people had received the signal 3 years ago. It was unlike anything they had ever heard. The signal contained a warning so terrible that every species in the galaxy had heard it. A warning about an Omega-class threat that could destroy the universe itself. The signal came from this small planet. From these humans. Dr. Soo-young worked frantically at her computer. She had studied alien languages her whole life preparing for this day, but she had always imagined first contact would be friendly. She had never thought aliens would arrive like this, surrounding Earth like a trap. "Try the mathematical sequence again," she told Ji-won. "I've tried it 20 times, Ji-won said. "They're not answering." "Then try it 21 times, Soo-young said. "We have to keep trying." Admiral Dong Hyun-yoon stood in the Earth Defense Headquarters looking at the tactical display. His officers waited for orders, but what orders could he give? Earth had 47 combat ships. The aliens had 3,000. "Sir," his aide said quietly, "should we surrender?" "Surrender to what?" Dong-hyun replied. "They haven't made any demands. They haven't said anything at all. How do you surrender to silence? The aide had no answer. Commander Ji-hoon watched the alien ships through his telescope. They were beautiful, he had to admit, made of some kind of crystal that caught the light from Earth's sun and threw it back in rainbow colors. But beautiful things could still be deadly. Sir, Hyunwoo called out, I'm picking up some kind of energy pulse from the alien ships. What kind of pulse? Unknown. It's scanning Earth. Every 3 hours they send the same pulse toward the planet. Ji-hoon frowned. Scanning for what? I don't know, sir. But whatever they're looking for, they haven't found it yet. The scans keep coming. Dr. Soo-young felt a chill run down her spine.
She had been thinking about this all wrong.
What if the aliens weren't here to invade? What if they were here because they were afraid? Afraid of Earth, afraid of humans, but that was impossible. Humans were barely able to travel to their own moon. How could they threaten anyone? The alien ships continued their silent watch, and Earth waited to learn its fate. Dr. Soo-young Choi had not slept in 36 hours. Her eyes burned as she stared at the computer screen, but she could not stop. Earth was running out of time. The alien ships had been scanning the planet for 3 days now, and their scans were getting stronger. Doctor, you need to rest, Ji-won-nam said, bringing her another cup of coffee. I can't rest, Soo-young replied. There has to be something we're missing. Some way to communicate with them. She scrolled through thousands of files on her computer, every language Earth had ever discovered, every mathematical formula, every piece of music, art, and literature that might help aliens understand humans. Nothing worked. Then she found something strange. Ji-won, look at this, she said, pointing at her screen. This file is marked as classified. It's from the Deep Space Observatory. Ji-won leaned over to look. What is it? Radio signals from space. But these are old. Really old. Soo-young opened the file. Some of these signals are from before humans had radio technology. The file contained recordings of strange signals that Earth's radio telescopes had picked up over the years. Most were just noise from stars and planets, but one signal was different. It repeated the same pattern over and over, and it had been broadcasting for thousands of years. This signal, Soo-young said, it's not from any star we know about, and look at this pattern. She played the signal for Ji-won. It was a series of mathematical numbers, but they were arranged in a way that seemed almost like language. It's beautiful, Ji-won said. But what does it mean? I don't know yet, but I'm going to find out. On the Earth Defense Station horizon, Commander Ji-hoon Park received a call from Admiral Dong-yeon Yoon. Commander, the Admiral said, we've made a decision. If the aliens don't respond to communication attempts in the next 6 hours, we're going to attack. Ji-hoon felt his heart sink. Sir, with respect, that would be suicide. Their smallest ship could destroy our entire fleet. Maybe, the Admiral said, but we can't just sit here forever. If they're planning to destroy Earth, at least we'll go down fighting. After the call ended, Ji-hoon looked out at the alien ships. They floated in perfect formation, silent and beautiful and deadly. He wondered if humans would be remembered as a brave species or a foolish one. Dr. Soo-young called her friend Tae-hyung Shin, who worked at the university's Department of Mathematics. If anyone could help her decode the ancient signal, it would be him. Tae-hyung, I need your help, she said when he answered the phone. Soo-young, aren't you supposed to be saving the world right now? I'm trying to. But I need you to look at something. I'm sending you a mathematical sequence. It's unlike anything I've ever seen. She transmitted the signal to his computer. Tae-hyung was quiet for a long time as he studied it. This is incredible, he finally said. These aren't just random numbers. They're coordinates. Coordinates to what? To Earth, but that's not the strangest part. The signal also contains what looks like a classification code. If I'm reading this right, it's labeling Earth as some kind of quarantine zone. Soo-young felt cold. Quarantine for what? I don't know, but whatever it is, it's classified as an Omega-level threat. Yuna Song worked as a communications engineer at the Global Communications Center. She had been monitoring the alien scans of Earth, trying to understand what they were looking for. Dr. Choi, she called out, I think I figured something out about the alien scans. Soo-young hurried over to Yuna's station. What did you find? The scans aren't random, Yuna said. They're focused on specific areas of Earth, old areas, places where humans have lived for thousands of years. Show me. Yuna pulled up a map of Earth on her screen. Red dots showed where the alien scans were strongest. Look at this pattern: Egypt, Mesopotamia, the Indus Valley, Easter Island, Stonehenge, all ancient human settlements. They're looking for something old, Soo-young said. Something that's been on Earth for a very long time. But what could be that important? These places are just ruins now. Soo-young thought about the ancient signal she had discovered. A signal that had been broadcasting for thousands of years, carrying coordinates to Earth and a warning about an Omega-level threat. What if, she said slowly, the signal didn't come from space? What if it came from Earth? Captain Minji Kim received new orders from Earth Command. Her ship and the rest of Earth's fleet were to prepare for a final assault on the alien ships. She gathered her crew in the main meeting room. "You all know what we're facing," she said. "The odds are not good. Actually, the odds are terrible. But we're going to fight anyway because that's what humans do." Her weapons officer, a young man named Kyung-soo, raised his hand. "Captain, do you think we have any chance at all?" Minji was quiet for a moment. "Honestly? No. But sometimes doing the right thing isn't about winning. Sometimes it's just about showing who you are, even when no one is watching." The crew nodded. They were scared, but they were ready. Back in her lab, Dr. Soo-young made a terrible discovery. She had been tracing the ancient signal back to its source, using every piece of technology she could find. The signal was definitely coming from Earth, but not from any current human settlement. It was coming from deep underground, from places where humans had lived long ago. But the signal was too complex, too advanced for ancient humans to have created. "Ji-won," she said, "what if the signal wasn't created by ancient humans? Then who created it? What if it was created by future humans? What if somehow, some way humans from the future sent this signal back in time?" Ji-won stared at her. "That's impossible. A week ago I would have said alien spaceships surrounding Earth was impossible too." Dr. Soo-young realized that she was looking at evidence of time travel. The signal was a message from Earth's future, sent back to warn the galaxy about something that humans would become, and now the aliens had received that warning. They had come to Earth not to invade, but to stop whatever humans were destined to become. The question was, what could humans possibly become that would threaten the entire galaxy? As if in answer to her thoughts, the alien scans suddenly changed. Instead of gentle pulses, they became powerful beams that made the ground shake. The aliens had found what they were looking for. On every alien ship, weapons began to charge with energy. The waiting was over. Earth was about to learn why the universe was afraid of humanity. The ground shook as alien scanning beams hit Earth. Dr. Soo-young Choi grabbed her desk to keep from falling as books and equipment crashed around her. The aliens had found something and they were not happy about it. "Dr. Choi," Ji-won Nam called out from across the room. "The government is calling an emergency meeting. They want all scientists to report what they've learned." Soo-young gathered her files about the ancient signal. She had a feeling that what she had discovered would change everything, but she needed more proof before she could tell world leaders that humans might be receiving messages from their own future. Woo Jin Kang worked as an archaeologist at the National Museum. He had spent his life studying ancient human settlements, and now he was part of the team trying to understand why aliens were scanning Earth's oldest places. "Dr. Choi," he said when she arrived at the emergency meeting, "I think I know why the aliens are interested in ancient sites." He spread old papers and photographs across the table. "I've been looking at artifacts from all the places the aliens are scanning. Egypt, Mesopotamia, the Indus Valley, Easter Island. They all have something in common." "What?" So-young asked. "Mathematical symbols. The same mathematical symbols you found in that ancient signal." Woo Jin showed her photographs of cave paintings, stone tablets, and ancient buildings. Hidden in the artwork and writing were the same number patterns that Soo-young had found in the radio signal. "These symbols appear in every ancient human culture," Woo Jin said. "But here's the strange part. According to our dating methods, these symbols appeared before humans should have known advanced mathematics." Soo-young felt excitement and fear at the same time. "How long before?" "Thousands of years before. Some of these symbols are carved into rocks that are older than human civilization itself." Dr. Seung-hwan Lim was a quantum physicist who worked at the university's Advanced Research Center. When Soo-young showed him the mathematical patterns, his face turned pale. "These aren't just mathematical symbols," he said. "They're quantum equations. Specifically, they're equations for time travel." "Time travel?" Soo-young said. "Are you sure?" "I've been studying quantum mechanics for 20 years, Seung-hwan replied. "These equations describe how to send information backward through time." But the technology needed to do this wouldn't exist for hundreds, maybe thousands of years. Unless, Su-young said slowly, humans in the future already invented it and sent these messages back to ancient times. The room was quiet as everyone thought about this. If Su-young was right, then humans from the future had been sending warnings to the past for thousands of years. But why? Ji-won asked. Why would future humans send warnings about themselves? That question was answered by Ye-jin Oh, a military strategist who had been studying Earth's history. I've been looking at mass extinction events throughout Earth's history, Ye-jin said. The dinosaurs, the Great Dying, the Ice Ages. Every major extinction event in Earth's history happened at the same time that these mathematical symbols appeared in the archaeological record. She showed them a timeline on her computer. Every time the signal got stronger, life on Earth died. It's like the signal itself was causing the extinctions. That doesn't make sense, Woojin said. Radio signals can't kill dinosaurs. No, Ye-jin replied, but the creatures that sent the signals could. What if future humans weren't just sending warnings? What if they were actively trying to prevent their own evolution by causing extinction events? The idea was horrifying. Su-young imagined humans from the far future, traveling back in time to kill their own ancestors before they could become whatever terrible thing the universe was afraid of. If that's true, she said, then every mass extinction was caused by our own descendants trying to prevent themselves from existing. But it got worse. Much worse. Jimin Cho was a specialist in temporal mechanics, the science of time travel. When he heard about the ancient signals, he immediately began working on the mathematics. I've run the calculations, he told the group. The signal isn't just a warning. It's instructions. Instructions for what? So-young asked. Instructions for preventing human evolution. The signal contains detailed information about which genetic lines to eliminate, which technologies to suppress, and which events to cause to keep humans from developing advanced technology. Jimin's computer screen showed a complex diagram. The signal is a temporal blueprint for genocide. Future humans are trying to murder their own species before it can evolve. Soon-ho Park, who was Commander Ji-hoon Park's younger brother, worked as a philosopher and ethicist. He had been thinking about the moral implications of what they had discovered. This creates an impossible situation, he said. If future humans are evil enough to require extinction, then maybe they're right to try to prevent their own existence. But if they're trying to save the universe by killing themselves, then maybe they're not evil at all. It's a paradox, Su-young said. The very act of trying to prevent themselves from existing proves that they have a conscience. But if they have a conscience, why does the universe fear them? That question was answered when the alien scanning suddenly stopped. For the first time in days, the alien ships were completely silent. Then the communication systems around the world activated at once. Every radio, every television, every computer connected to the internet began receiving the same message. It was not from the aliens, it was from the signal. Dr. Su-young listened as the ancient signal finally decoded itself into human language. The voice that spoke was human, but it came from so far in the future that it barely sounded human anymore. People of the past, the voice said, we are your descendants from 50,000 years in your future. We have become something terrible. We have learned to manipulate the fundamental forces of reality itself. We can create universes and destroy them. We can rewrite the laws of physics. We can make existence itself cease to exist. The voice paused, and when it continued, it sounded sad. We became gods, but we used our power only to destroy. We have consumed entire galaxies. We have murdered countless species. We have broken the universe in ways that cannot be repaired. The other species in the galaxy are right to fear us. That is why we have sent these signals back through time. That is why we have caused extinction events on our own planet. We are trying to prevent ourselves from ever existing. But every time we try to change the past, the timeline simply adapts. We always evolve into the same monsters. Su-young felt sick. Humanity's future was so terrible that their own descendants were trying to commit time-travel genocide to save the universe. The alien ships that surround your planet are here to finish what we could not. The voice continued. They will sterilize Earth completely. It is the only way to ensure that we never exist. Around the world, alien weapons began to charge. Energy readings spiked to levels that could crack continents. The aliens had heard enough, but Dr. Su-young was not ready to give up. There had to be another way. There had to be something that 50,000 years of future humans had missed. She looked at her team. at all the brilliant people who had worked together to uncover this terrible truth. Maybe the future was not as fixed as their descendants believed. Maybe choice was stronger than destiny. The alien weapons reached full power. Energy readings from the ships showed they could destroy Earth in minutes. Dr. Soo-young Choi knew she had very little time to find another solution. There has to be something we're missing, she said to her team. Some detail that future humans didn't consider. Jaemin Cho, the temporal mechanics specialist, was working frantically at his computer. Dr. Choi, I think I found something important. The signal from the future isn't just a warning or instructions. It's also a timeline map. What do you mean? It shows every time future humans tried to change the past. They've attempted this prevention thousands of times. Each time they cause an extinction event, the timeline splits and reforms. But look at this pattern. Jaemin showed her a complex diagram on his screen. Every time they try to prevent their own evolution, they actually guarantee it. The paradox doesn't prevent their existence. It ensures it. Sunho Park, the philosopher, understood immediately. They're trapped in a loop. The more they try to destroy themselves, the more certain it becomes that they will exist. But why? Soo-young asked. How does that work? Jaemin pointed to his calculations. Because the knowledge of what they become is what drives them to become it. They know they will be universe destroyers, so they develop the technology to try to prevent it. But that same technology is what makes them universe destroyers in the first place. Dr. Soo-young felt a chill as she understood. They created their own destiny by trying to escape it. Soo-hyun Kwon, a chaos theorist, had been studying the mathematical patterns in the signal. Dr. Choi, there's something else. The signal contains more than just warnings about humanity's future. It contains detailed information about how they became what they became. Show me. Soo-hyun pulled up her analysis on the main screen. According to this, humans don't become universe destroyers because they're evil. They become universe destroyers because they're trying to fix the universe. Fix it how? By stopping suffering. By preventing death. By making everything perfect. Soo-hyun's voice was quiet. They develop technology that can rewrite reality because they want to eliminate pain and death from existence. But once you can control the fundamental forces of reality, the temptation to control everything becomes too strong. Da-hyun Yu, a xenopsychologist who studied alien behavior, had been analyzing the way the alien ships behaved. Dr. Choi, I think I understand why the aliens are here. They're not just responding to the warning about humans. They're part of a larger pattern. What kind of pattern? The signal contains records of other species that became Omega-class threats. Hundreds of them throughout galactic history. The aliens aren't just an immune system for humanity. They're an immune system for the entire universe. Daeun showed them star maps that were included in the signal. Every red dot on this map represents a species that was destroyed for becoming an Omega-class threat. Some tried to rewrite the laws of physics. Others tried to consume all matter in the universe. Some tried to merge all consciousness into one being. What happened to them? The same thing that's about to happen to us. The galactic community destroyed them before they could fulfill their potential. Dr. Soo-young looked at the map. There were thousands of red dots, thousands of species that had been destroyed for the crime of becoming too powerful. This is genocide, she said. The aliens are committing genocide against any species that might threaten their vision of how the universe should work. Min Ho-jung, the head of Earth's Temporal Studies Division, had been working on something in secret. He called Dr. Soo-young aside. We've developed our own time communication device, he said quietly. We can send signals back to the past just like future humans did. Why are you telling me this? Because I think you're right. This isn't about preventing humanity from becoming dangerous. This is about choice, and I think we can prove that to the aliens. Minho led her to a hidden laboratory beneath the communication center. Inside was a machine that looked like a massive radio telescope pointed at nothing. This device can send signals through time, Minho explained. We built it based on the equations we found in the future human signal. We could use it to send a message to our own past, just like future humans did. But that would create the same paradox, Soo-young said. Not if we send the right message. Hyein Cha, a quantum ethicist, had been thinking about the moral implications of what they were considering. Dr. Soo-young, if we use this device, we could potentially erase our entire timeline. Everyone who exists now, everyone who will exist in the future, could simply stop existing. But we could also prevent the suffering that future humans will cause, Su-Yung replied. Yes, but we could also prevent all the good they might do. We don't know everything about the future. We only know what future humans chose to tell us. Hein was right, and Su-Yung knew it. The signal from the future only showed humanity's failures. It didn't show any of their successes, their art, their love, their discoveries that might benefit the universe. On the Earth Defense Station horizon, Commander Ji-hoon Park received word that the alien weapons were ready to fire. Admiral Dong Yun-yoon had ordered Earth's fleet to make their final attack. But Ji-hoon knew it was hopeless. Sir, Communications Officer Hyun-woo Lee called out, I'm receiving a transmission from Dr. Choi on Earth. Put her through. Dr. Su-Young's voice came through the speaker. Commander Park, I need you to hold off the attack for 1 more hour. I think we can solve this without anyone dying. Dr. Choi, the aliens are about to destroy Earth. We don't have an hour. Trust me, Commander. I have an idea, but I need time to try it. Ji-hoon looked at the alien ships surrounding them. Their weapons glowed with energy that could boil oceans, but something in Dr. Su-Young's voice made him believe. 1 hour, Doctor. That's all I can give you. Back in the hidden laboratory, Dr. Su-Young stood before the time communication device. She had an idea that was either brilliant or completely insane. Instead of sending a message to the past, she was going to send a message to the future, a message to the same humans who had started this whole cycle. What are you going to tell them? Ji-won asked. The truth, Su-Young replied. That they have a choice. That they don't have to become what they fear. She activated the device and spoke into the transmitter, sending her words 50,000 years into the future. We know what you became. We know why you're trying to stop yourselves. But you're wrong about one thing. The future isn't fixed. You can choose to be different. The machine hummed with power as it sent her message through time. Around the world, alien weapons began to power down as they received something they had never seen before. A message from the past telling the future that change was possible. Dr. Su-Young Choi held her breath as her message traveled through time. The laboratory was silent except for the humming of the time communication device. Everyone waited to see what would happen. Then the impossible occurred. The ancient signal that had been broadcasting for thousands of years suddenly changed. Instead of the complex mathematical warnings about human danger, a new voice came through. It was still from the future, but it sounded different, younger, more hopeful. People of the past, the new voice said. We received your message. For 50,000 years we believed our fate was sealed. We thought we had no choice but to become destroyers. But you showed us something we had forgotten. You showed us that every moment is a choice. Around the world, people stopped what they were doing to listen. The voice continued. We do not have to become what we feared. We can choose to use our power to heal instead of harm. We can choose to protect instead of destroy. We can choose to be the guardians of the universe instead of its destroyers. On the alien command ship, Supreme Commander Vex watched his instruments in amazement. The Omega-class threat signal from Earth was changing in real time. The mathematical patterns that had warned of universal destruction were transforming into something completely different. Science officer, Vex said. What are your readings? Sir, the threat level is dropping rapidly. The Omega classification is changing too. I've never seen this before. The new classification appears to be Guardian class. Vex had been a military commander for 300 years. He had destroyed 17 different species that had become Omega-class threats. But he had never seen a threat level change like this. Dr. Su-Young spoke into the time communicator again. We understand now. The loop you were trapped in wasn't caused by time travel. It was caused by hopelessness. You gave up on the possibility of change. The future voice responded immediately. Yes. We became so focused on preventing our dark future that we forgot we could create a bright one instead. On Earth Defense Station horizon, Commander Ji-hoon Park watched as the alien weapons powered down completely. Hyun-woo, are you seeing this? Yes, sir. All alien ships are standing down. Their weapons are going offline, but why? Communications Officer Hyun-woo Lee listened to his instruments. Sir, I think they're receiving the same transmissions we are. The aliens are hearing the conversation between present and future humans. Captain Minji Kim, aboard the Soul's Pride, received new orders to hold position, but remain ready. Her crew watched in wonder as the massive alien ships, which had seemed so threatening just moments before, began to rearrange themselves into a different formation. Captain, her navigation officer said, The alien ships are moving into a protective formation around Earth. It's like they're guarding us instead of threatening us. Dr. Su-Yung continued her conversation with the future. Tell me about the technology that made you dangerous. Can it really be used for good? Yes, the future voice replied. The power to manipulate fundamental forces can be used to repair damaged planets, to bring back extinct species, to heal the wounds that war and destruction have left across the galaxy. We were so afraid of our power that we never considered using it responsibly. Jae-min Cho, the temporal mechanics specialist, was recording everything. Dr. Choi, this is incredible. We're watching a timeline change in real time. The future is literally rewriting itself as we speak. The alien ships around Earth began broadcasting their own signal. For the first time since they arrived, they spoke directly to humanity. Species of Earth, came a translated voice. We are the Kalari. We came here to prevent a terrible future, but we have witnessed something unprecedented. You have shown that the future can be changed through choice and hope. Supreme Commander Vex's own voice came through the communicator. We have spent millennia destroying species that might become threats. But you have shown us that there is another way. Species can choose to become protectors instead of destroyers. Dr. Su-Yung felt tears in her eyes. What happens now? The future human voice answered. Now we rebuild. Instead of using our technology to prevent our own existence, we use it to heal the damage we caused. Instead of destroying other species that might become threats, we help them make better choices. And us? What about present-day humans? You will be the first species we help instead of destroy. The Kalari will teach you. They will guide your development to ensure you become guardians like us, not destroyers. Commander Vex's voice returned. Dr. Choi, your people have done something remarkable today. You broke a cycle that had trapped your future selves for 50,000 years. The Galactic Council will want to study how you did this. The Galactic Council? The organization of species that protects the universe from Omega-class threats. But after today, we will need a new purpose. Instead of destroying dangerous species, we will help them find better paths. Wu Jin Kang, the archaeologist, had been thinking about the implications. Dr. Choi, if the future has changed, what happens to all the archaeological evidence we found? The ancient symbols and warnings? As if in answer to his question, the future voice spoke again. The symbols will remain, but their meaning will change. Instead of warnings about destruction, they will become promises of protection. They will remind future generations that every species has the choice to become either destroyers or guardians. Young Min Sun, Earth's defense coordinator, had been preparing for humanity's last stand. Now he found himself coordinating Earth's first diplomatic contact with an alien species. Dr. Choi, he said over the communicator, the aliens are requesting permission to send representatives to Earth. They want to begin immediate cultural and technological exchange. Dr. Su-Yung looked around at her team. Ji-Won Nam, Tai-Hyung Shin, Yuna Song, and all the others who had worked so hard to solve this crisis. They had done more than save Earth. They had changed the future of the entire universe. Tell them yes, she said. Tell them humans are ready to learn how to be guardians. The ancient signal that had broadcast warnings for thousands of years sent out its final transmission. But instead of a warning about humanity's dark future, it was a promise about their bright one. To all species who receive this signal, the message said, know that change is always possible. Know that every moment offers the choice between destruction and creation. Know that the universe has room for one more guardian species. Dr. Su-Yung walked outside the communication center and looked up at the sky. The alien ships no longer looked threatening. They looked like protectors, like teachers, like friends who had traveled across the galaxy to help humanity find its way. Commander Ji-Hoon Park received a personal message from one of the alien ships. Commander, we would be honored if you would visit our vessel. We have much to teach each other. Captain Minji Kim got similar invitations for her crew. The aliens wanted to learn about human courage and determination. They wanted to understand how a species facing certain destruction could still choose hope over despair. As the first alien shuttles descended toward Earth, Dr. Su-Yung realized that this was not the end of the story. It was the beginning. Humanity was about to join a galactic community, not as conquerors or victims, but as guardians. The future humans had been right about one thing. Humanity would develop incredible power, the power to reshape reality itself, but they had been wrong about how that power would be used. Instead of destroying the universe, humans would help heal it. Instead of consuming galaxies, they would help them flourish. Instead of being feared across the cosmos, they would be welcomed as protectors. Dr. Su-Young smiled as the first alien ambassador stepped onto Earth's surface. The signal had been sent, the future had been changed, and the universe was about to become a much safer place. All because one human woman chose to believe that the future could be different from the past.